So if you will, indulge me for just a few moments. We're doing something a little bit different today. I'm going to take part in the BTIC challenge, which is the best transformer in your collection. There's a lot to choose from. I want to make a note about a custom job that I did a long time ago, but I think it is a note worth making. And we might even have a minute or two for me to give a little bit of a life lesson. Stick around, this one's going to be fun in the latest GotBot True review. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm your host, your humble host, Dennis Moulton, aka GotBot. As always, please like, comment, share, and hey man, subscribe, because that's how you get in on the fun that we have here. And if nothing else, hey, give you an opportunity to laugh at me, or with me, or at me. Let's be realistic, or at me. Check out Machinery Man, the Everything Factor, and me everywhere. Now, few things that I want to cover here, not the least of which is going to be the challenge, but we'll get to that in a few moments. Very first thing that I want to note is good friend of the channel, Nortalica. A lot of people have asked me recently if I'm much of a gamer, and I'm not much of a gamer, not because I don't enjoy it. I do. A lot of times what ends up happening though is I kind of, watch gameplay because I'm doing other things. I don't really have the time to be the gamer that I'd like to be. I just don't. But he does a lot of coverage of that sort of stuff. And specifically, a lot of people have asked me if I play the game Fortnite. Nah, I don't, but I know that it has a huge following, and I do believe he's been playing it and covering it. So by all means, check him out. I'll even leave a link to his channel in the description. The guy's funny, witty, intelligent, and it's a good time, man. It's just plain a good time. Now, on to the life lesson. Now, anybody who knows me knows that these are sometimes pleasant and sometimes not so pleasant. Usually the first life lesson that I give people is, you ain't special. I know, that one sounds harsh. People either laugh at it or they get really offended by it. But let me explain. All I mean by that is this. Don't think that the world owes you something because your name is Frank or Jesse or John or Margaret or Janice, whatever your name is. Everybody in this world is unique. Everybody in this world has skills and talents, and everybody is deserving of the same level of respect. No more, no less for any of us, myself included. I'm not special. I'm just another dude trying to make it in this world just like you are. And I just think it's always good to kind of keep a level head and realize that, you know what, you're part of the world, you're part of life, you're part of a community. Give the respect that you'd like to give. But that's not the life lesson that I was actually here to give today. No. The life lesson that I was actually here to give today relates to challenges. In life, you're going to be challenged, man. Sometimes big ones, sometimes small ones. And the BTIC challenge was actually a pretty big one for me because the regulations stated that it could be a figure that has any amount of customization done to it, but it had to be an official release. So right away, certain figures in my collection, not many, but a few, were kind of disqualified, such as Toy World's Hegemon, Unique Toys Mania King, and my version of Predaking, the Unique Toys Warlord, all of which I enjoy. And all of which I've taken a look at various times here on the channel, somewhere in some episode number. I don't know. But they've all been kind of covered here. None of them can be used. It had to be something official. And I have seen a few people do this challenge now. And some of them pick their favorite character. Some of them pick their favorite their favorite toy. But I don't think that's what the challenge is about. Now, I was tagged to do this by, I think, the creator of the challenge, Masterfire, another good friend of the channel, check out what he's doing, and by Ninja Bill 1000, who has a lot that he covers, man. So I appreciate both of those guys, and since both of them asked me, how could I not do this? If it's within my power to do something that you guys ask me to do, I try to. I certainly try to. It's not always possible. I'm still waiting on to be able to get my hands on a G1 Sunstreaker somewhere. A long time ago, somebody asked me to take a look at that guy, and if they see this, I don't even remember who it was, but if they see this, don't think I've forgotten about you. I just have not been able to find one to review here on the channel yet. Nevertheless, I was challenged to this, and of course it was my responsibility. If I'm going to preach that, hey, a life lesson is that you should rise to a challenge, then I guess I need to rise to the challenge. And I could pick from any number of figures that I have. The massive and fantastic 2-foot-tall Metroplex or Fortress Maximus. Maybe the Dinobot, the Dinosaur City for the Decepticons Tripticon, who tried out for the Dinobot team a little while ago. If you haven't checked that out yet, have a look in the Stop Motions playlist. It's in there somewhere. I could have picked out Beast Wars Megatron, and for the record, he was featured in a stop motion where he reacted to news of Power of the Primes, specifically Optimus Primal getting a new figure and being, named the next bearer of the Matrix, as well as getting a Masterpiece figure. And we just got news hours ago, as of this recording, that there is in fact going to be an MP43 Masterpiece Beast Wars Megatron. And I've been asked to see if I can catch up with Beast Wars Megatron again to get his reaction to that announcement. And I did. He didn't even know I was there. I took a camera, and the guy was as humble as always. Okay, Beast Wars Megatron is never humble. He's so arrogant. Such an arrogant dude, and you'll see it all. That's coming up pretty soon here on the channel. So what about something like the Last Night Voyager class Hound, or perhaps the RID Storm Shot? We could go all over the map, but I think the BTIC challenge means the figure that actually is the best. And there's not many figures that have come along that I've given super high scores to. Some, yes, but all of them tend to have their strengths and weaknesses. Only one really has strengths across the board, or at least in my experience with them. And I think that you guys are going to be a bit surprised by who I pick, because a lot of people experienced very different things with this mold. Some great, some good, some just awful. My experience was fantastic, so I had to grade it thusly. And it's a figure that I looked at in episode 225. Think about that for a moment, because I'm going to move on to something else before I reveal who my BTIC entrant is. And that relates to a custom job I did a long time ago. This is the Transformers Age of Extinction Deluxe Class Slash. Now, I looked at the custom work I did on this figure compared to the kind of banana leaf yellow and teal color, release that came out in the main line way back in episode 70. I also looked at the Power of the Primes slash in episode 338, and both of these kind of make an appearance again in episode 399 when I look at what my Dinobots look like before the Power of the Primes line and what they look like now. And I even done a combination of Volcanicus. So why do I have this here? It's certainly not my BTIC entrant, because the robot mode on this thing is just rubbish and terrible. It's just awful. But I did a kind of tutorial for people that want to try their hand at customizing. Beginner tips, if you will, way back in episode 274. And a lot of people said, hey, you should always use the more expensive model paints. And that's certainly an option, and I get it. They give a very nice, even coverage and whatnot. But you don't have to. In fact, the silver and gold on this guy was done, or this girl, actually, as we recently found out, was done with paint pens. Cheapy paint pens. All you really need to make sure of is that they're acrylic craft paint, in this case paint pens. here's why I say you don't need to go the expensive route, especially if you're a beginner. I mean, you don't have the skill set yet, and you probably don't want to make a huge investment. Moments ago, before recording this, and I mean moments ago, I was changing over a load of laundry from my washer, and I heard some clanking and clunking, and I realized that this guy had accidentally been thrown in with a load of towels and pants and socks and all the other stuff that you throw into a washing machine. He's been washed, or she's been washed, if you will. And there's a couple of minor areas that I could touch up, but generally the paint held through an entire wash cycle, in with other items, with soap and water and, you know, the that a washing machine makes, that sound when it's gyrating. I don't know. This thing is still well painted, and it was done cheaply. You can go the more expensive route if you want, but if you want a more cost-effective option, you can certainly do it. The trick is to give it plenty of time to dry, and that's usually where people fall down, because a lot of times they don't have the patience to go, you know, to go a few days to let this dry properly. Now, finally, on to the BTIC challenge, and my selection, the one I looked at in episode 225, is actually a deluxe class figure. It is the Titan's Return Trigger Happy with his Titan Master blowpipe. This thing is perfect. It is everything that a Transformer should be. Now, some people out there, you know, are really kind of grimacing at this. Some of them are going, oh, and gasping, and others are saying, I don't know who this dude is. I have no idea who this character is or who this guy is. Look, whenever I do a review here on the channel, I always grade things the same way. Paint apps and styling, posability, playability, in other words, articulation, and transformation. And this guy got 10s across the board because he's pretty much perfect. In terms of being an homage to the G1 toy, 10. It's spot on. Even to the animation, it's really close. If anything, this has a couple of extra paint apps that the animation didn't have, such as the gold up here on the chest. The head sculpt is beautiful. We have great, gorgeous blue, gold eyes here, you know, stuck on the little face piece that you can see hidden beneath his helmet and red face plate. The coloring is fantastic. And if you went with the Japanese iteration of this guy, it's probably even better. The articulation, there's really nothing more for the size class that you could want. I mean, the arms, they go all the way out to the side. We have an elbow that's 93, 94 degrees, like over 90-degree elbow. We have a nice, solid bicep swivel. The hands angle in and out really for transformation, but it was there. Maybe a swivel would have been nice, probably, but whatever, that's so minor. He doesn't come with a target master as he should, though the Japanese release did. This guy still, with the name Trigger Happy, I mean, you could, you know, bring this dual cannon out over his hand. Now it's meant for his alternate mode, but you can bring it out there and on this side and bring up the wing. And like, the guy has now like 6 cannons pointed at you. I mean, come on! The name Trigger Happy is perfect for the dude. Absolutely perfect for the dude. In terms of the rest of the articulation, actually I guess I can leave all this up for now. In terms of the rest of the articulation, you know, we have a waist swivel, we have full splits, we have a nice solid thigh swivel, all the way back, all the way forward. It's such a deep knee bend. We have a heel that can tilt. We have toes that can tilt. He's solid when he stands. Now, a lot of people, unfortunately, had some QC issues with this dude and ended up with 2 left arms, I think it was, something like that, or like, whatever it was, he couldn't transform correctly. I never encountered that, and if you did, I feel sorry for you because I know your experience was bad, and he is so fantastic when you don't have those QC issues. The articulation is second to none. And what about the transformation? It's so interesting and involved get easy, and everything fits together perfectly with the guy. We untab the waist. We remove the head section. We untab the sides of the body, really, and the shoulders. And then once we have all of this out, we take the whole front here and we rotate the whole thing around. That's brilliant! We bring up the little, I don't know what you call it, cover to the cockpit section. We could put our little Titan Master dude in there, bring that down, bring the nose cone that was on his back up. Even in terms of a backpack, the nose cone is not obtrusive at all. We come to the back of the guy. We again turn him at the waist. We put the heels up into the legs and fold down the toes. We peg the legs together. If I can get them pegged together now, which I should be able to. There you go. So nice and snug. We fold up that and bring it in over. We can tab it in on the two sides when it comes up over. We straighten down the arm, straighten down the arm. We bring it back and we have a little blue tab here that goes into a little slot back here. And I haven't done this guy in a while, so for me to even remember how to do this is a bit of a testament to how well he turned out. Put that there, get that in there, nice and snug, and that in there, nice and snug. And like really, you know, I guess close that in, close that in. Boom. I mean, it's like a space jet fighter thing. It's beautiful. It's fantastic. The coloring is excellent. Look, here's the thing. You can choose a favorite if you want. You can choose anything from any one of the lines. But at the end of the day, if you want an example of how to do a figure right, this guy, without any of his QC issues, is how to do a figure right. There's really nothing here not to like if you had a good reaction and a good experience with the mold. I certainly did. I still love the guy. I think he's fantastic and looks awesome. And he's just fun to go swoosh, swoosh, swoosh with. He's great for swooshing. He's even great for swooshing. Now, don't get me wrong, he's not my favorite character. He's also not my favorite toy. But he is my BTIC challenge entrant. Alright, I guess I'm supposed to tag a couple of other people. I don't know, man. There's so many I could tag. Let's say Joe from My Life in Collecting. He has some interesting pieces. I'd love to know what his, best one is. Let's say Patriot Prime Reviews if he hasn't already. And just for fun, let's throw in Matt Deluxe Baldwin. There you go. There's three right there. Maybe they've all been tagged, maybe none of them have. Hopefully one of them or all of them will see this and decide to take part. Anyway, this was fun. This was different. I hope you enjoyed it. By all means, please hit that subscribe button. It makes all the difference in the world. It is beyond appreciated, and it really, really does help me out. Thanks for giving me some of your extremely valuable time. And I very much look forward to the next time that you and I get together to have another visit right here inside the videos.